So y'all ready to get into a little bit of this mystery of the 33rd degree? Y'all ready? 1738, Pope Clement XII bans Freemasonry. 1738, Pope Clement XII bans Freemasonry. The Catholic Church. 1738 just so happened to be the year that Frederick the Great, King of Prussia, shout out to North Philly, when you go a little, not north, but more of east of Philly, west, right? You got the King of Prussia Mall. So anyway, he becomes a Mason and he's the founder of the 33rd degree, Frederick the Great. Okay, same year that the Catholics put a ban on Freemasonry. Now, King Philip IV, we're going to go back a couple hundred years. King Philip IV of France and Pope Clement V collaborated to arrest and suppress the Knights Templars in 1307. And they killed the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, was Jacques de Molay. Okay. In 1314, they killed him. Okay. Now, Pope Clement V went against the Knights Templar. Pope Clement XII ends Freemasonry or bans it. When you name yourself after the Clements, the Benedicts, you're naming yourself because that ideology of Pope Fathers fits your ideology. So Clement XII is right in line with Clement V. You understand? Okay. Now, the Knights Templar in Masonry dress like this on the left. But isn't that very synonymous to how our brother, dear noble Marcus Garvey was dressing himself? Huh? So Frederick the Great creates the 33rd degree. Y'all ready? I'm about to give y'all the inside game. I'm gonna give you some of the ritual work. So, okay, me and Rich, we got our own little lodge. So I go to the door. Rich say Demole. My response is Hiram Abiff. Then Rich responds is Frederick. Then I say of Persia. Token mean handshake. There ain't none. So now let's get into a historical discourse and a lecture of what this degree is about, the 33rd. The degree of the Knight Kadosh is the most awesome and important. In this degree, you solemnly bound yourself without restriction to destroy an order of men for crimes committed several centuries ago. Hello? You're binding yourself to destroy an order of men for crimes committed several centuries ago, 400 years ago, without regard for the common principles of humanity and the laws of your country. You got to get about it because we want some clap back for what they did. Let's keep on going. They tell you in the lecture, Philip the Fair, King of France, grew jealous of the Knights Templar, which jealousy turned into hatred because they embraced the cause of Boniface VIII in disputes he had with the king. Philip never forgave the Templars for the conduct in these matters. On the 13th of October, 1309, he arrested all the Templars. Okay. Let's just go down. Let me see. On October the 1st, 1312, the Council of Vienna banished the order in agreement with the Pope and gave the greater parts of their possessions to the Knights Hospitallers of St. John's of Jerusalem, Knights of Rhodes, now called the Knights of Malta, which were established about 1120 when Hieronymus was Pope. The Knights Kadosh were called Knights Templar, but after the massacre by Philip, the few who escaped changed their name and appearance to avoid persecution or from the enemies until their numbers increased and they could take arms for their just and lawful rights. They ceased wearing the black cordon and red cross and substituted a large blood-colored cordon, right? And in about the Masonic year of 5767, so minus 4,000 years, that's 1767, investigations were made in Paris, Treaty of Paris, Benjamin Franklin, remember, that's about to come up, to prove that the Masons with the Knights, with the title Knights of Kadosh was Templars. If the discovery succeeded, the order would have been destroyed. In consequence, it was determined in Grand Council by communication with Berlin and Paris that in the future, they should assume the title, drumroll, Knights of the Black and White Eagle. I know that last sentence just went over your head. So this is why you see the black man in Masonic poses in the white Masons in this combination of them. In the order of the Knights of Malta could keep the possessions they illegally obtained and were obliged to exterminate the order of the temple. I'm going to go all the way to the end. But if a sovereign power declared war, we are bound by solemn obligation we has taken. And if our business permits, we are bound to join the army of their enemies and use our talents both in cabinet and field to exterminate that order. Talking about the Knights of Malta, which is the Catholic version of the Knights Templars now, in a sense, right? That we may again possess the rich and strong places belonging to the Templars by right. All right. I really should go up and read that in white. All right, because they tell you that going on the Mediterranean on business should be met by accident. The Mediterranean, that's Moorish Spain. The Moors had control of all that. The Moors ruled Sicily, that sits in the Mediterranean. The Moors had a lot of those cities that was up in there. The Knights of the Black and White Eagle, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. There's about to be a merger. It's already been a merger. Okay. So the 33rd degree want that smoke with the Catholic Church. And if the Catholic Church ever go to war, the 33rd degrees are to go and join the Catholic Church enemies to get their clap back. That's what the 33rd degree is about. Don't fall for this new age Illuminati conspiracy talk. I just showed you the ritual work known as the historical discourse of what this degree is about. They want that smoke with the Catholic Church. So they said in a Masonic year 5767 and 1767. In 1767, guess what? Benjamin Franklin visited France. What? What are you doing there? At the same time, he was already a Mason. What's going on? What? You would later come back, as we saw, to the United States, and then you would start creating an organization to free the Black Eagle, aka Black people. You know what's up with the Catholic Church? The Catholic Church created their own Masonic body called the Knights of Columbus, and the higher orders of the Knights of Columbus, they got the order of the Alhambra. The Alhambra's emblem is the red castle that was Moorish Spain. That red castle, Alhambra mean red castle, that's surmounted on top of that crescent moon, and they put a cross in the middle because in 1492 they were we surrendered. We didn't fight. We surrendered Moorish Spain, Granada, to the Christian powers. And then this is how they come back and they go in within their own fraternity, within the Catholic rite, and pretty much gloat about that victory. Now, see, for me, now I understand. Listen, the Catholic saints, I got some recordings on my Patreon about the Catholic saints. You got some dudes that was highly, highly mystical. I'm not talking about the mystical science. I'm talking about the political side today. The political side, I don't rock with. The mystical side, I rock with. But see, I got my ancestry, and my bloodline runs through Moorish Spain and all of Western Africa. King with Mali and all that, and Mansa Musa and all that. Like my bloodline is over there. All where Islam is, all through that. And if you understand mystical Islam anyway, it's a continuation of Christianity, whereas Christianity don't acknowledge Islam. And it's not the other way around. This is why when you had the Golden Age in Moorish Spain, everybody was enlightened. Anyway, just showing you how they get down and what this is about. Okay, here goes some books if you really want to get on the study. Some great references when Scotland was Jewish, and she's dropping evidence, archaeology. This ain't no philosophy. This is what's on the rolls. Okay, Jews and Muslims in British colonial America, the early Jews and Muslims of England and Wales, and the Melungeons, which Abraham Lincoln was, the last tribe in America. And she's making all of these connections to African, Moorish people, Jewish people, and European people mixing together, and Freemasonry playing a role in organizing the importation of these people who are now changing up what they look like. We see that in the 33rd degree, changing up some things, and some intermixing started happening so you can fly under the radar to escape persecution. See, things got to a point where you had to start mixing bloodlines to survive. That's real art of war. But some great books to read is right here.